title of 2019 Classic Olympia champion.
I'm gonna do whatever it is. I don't know what you want to do. Set these goals and then work towards it.
This journey was not an easy one, but in the end, it was absolutely worth the pain endured.
Everybody want to be good. Everybody want to be on top. Everybody want to be the best.
If you give it any less than everything you totally got,
it's like the place went fucking crazy now.
But don't nobody want to go out there and make all the sacrifices.
And still, four-time Olympian Chris Bumstead.
Hey everyone, let's talk about bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is an art form. Everyone knows that it will take decades of dedication to this craft to build a Greek god physique, or the occasional pin a needle in the thigh. The one thing about art that no one really knows about is that it can all be an illusion. I know a lot of people know that this subject is already well known, that I'm just a dumb idiot, but this is a very interesting subject that I just wanted to talk about. Bodybuilding is an illusion. There's a lot of things that go into it. You can go from being untrained to somehow looking very aesthetic by just gaining a couple of pounds on your shoulders and losing a bit of weight.
Shoulder to waist ratio is very, very important. The average American man has a 40.2 inch waist, as well as roughly the same chest size. So they are not having a V taper. It's not a taper at all. It's literally just like a box type of shape.
I don't have the expertise in terms of building due to the fact that I look like an Audi piece of string cheese, but it doesn't matter. I have done my fair share of bodybuilding research through various sources.
Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but don't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weight. Basic.
From what I've seen from Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, etc., the main goal of a bodybuilder is to get as big as they can.
Fucking Cocoa Pebbles Day! Cocoa Pebbles!
But also look as lean as they can. The main illusion that most people will probably know is that at a lower body fat percentage, your muscles will pop out, making them look bigger. A person with high body fat percentage probably has more muscle mass compared to the leaner version of themselves, because many bodybuilders, when they go through their dieting phase to get ready for competition, they do lose muscle, especially as a natural.
But nobody should do this in their right mind. This is absolutely crazy. I feel like garbage 24/7. No energy, no drive for anything. The weakest I've ever been.
With the help of pharmacological enhancements, advanced bodybuilders and professionals will not lose that much muscle mass. They will also use a variation of techniques to make them look even more lean despite their low body fat percentage, and that includes carb cycling and water depletion. The main goal of carb cycling and water depletion is to reduce the amount of subcutaneous water in the body to make you look even more dry, just keeping the water that is in the actual muscle and reducing the amount under your skin.
I know everyone takes the piss, but I'm just constantly dehydrated.
A dry, full look can be attained by having water depletion and carb loading. A week prior to the competition, the early couple of days will usually be high fat, low carb, and as you get closer to the competition, you'll start doing high carb refeed days just to fill your muscles with as much glycogen as you can.
So the water is nice and high, and then it goes bloop, just like that over the course of several days. Meanwhile, the carbohydrates are being loaded, so less water coming in under the skin, more water being sucked out from under the skin and from everywhere else into the muscles, makes for a very muscular look, but a very dry look.
With a lot of glycogen, you can store a lot of water. You can hold about 3 grams of water per gram of carbohydrate. So bodybuilders need to somehow balance water, sodium, electrolytes and carbs together to make them have that full and dry look. So that will usually be them drinking a lot of water in the early stages just to get a lot of the water out, and then gradually decrease their fluids from there. On show day, the main thing they're going to consume is high glycemic carbs and maybe a bit of protein, because they don't want to look bloated on stage, they just want to look full. Now in bodybuilding competitions, you'll see that they will get tanned to a very dark skin tone, because obviously darker your skin, the deeper the serrations in your muscles will look and the cuts in all your muscles. Lighting is also very important as well. That's why if you go in the gym, you're always like, why do I look 10 times leaner than I do compared to home? Well, that's because at home you can't control your lighting. It will be dependent on what time of day it is, where the mirror is at, what light you have, etc.
And it was primarily downlighting, and downlighting essentially is a light that shines directly down on the competitor, casting more shadows and making more contrast with their physique.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
Another thing that these bodybuilders have are good genetics. Do you have good proportions? Now, it is very valued in bodybuilding to have a small waist and wide shoulders, having more of the Dorito compared to having an X-frame nowadays. Classic physique, they more look for the aesthetics compared to open bodybuilding, which is just mass monsters. Take Arnold, he had a massive chest, his shoulders, his arms were well developed, his legs could have been way better, but again, back then they only really cared about that V look, that aesthetic proportion.
Like for instance, so many of those guys have their stomachs sticking out. What are we talking about here? I mean, it used to be that you should have a V-shaped body. I don't know, it's like kind of like a bottle-shaped body or something like that.
In many body transformations, a lot of people can go from being overweight to then being muscular Greek gods, and that is usually due to the fact that their hips get thinner and their shoulders widen due to muscle gain but also weight loss. This will create the illusion of the X-frame. Also, if you add lats and well-developed arms into this, then you'll have more of that filled-in look. This doesn't mean you have to skip leg day, please. If you have a well-developed upper body and your legs are just skinny as twigs and you can't even walk around without being able to break your knees, any gym bro, any gym girl will see it and then completely be turned off by you. I'm sorry.
You achieved failure. Failure has been achieved, thank God. Now, the only place to go from failure is to win.
So don't skip leg day. Tom Platz, do your squats. Now, with all these techniques in mind, let's compare it to what is being utilized in social media. Again, a lot of the aesthetic fitness influencers aren't necessarily that big, either being that they're natural or they have taken something in the past, they've stopped, and now they just focus on mainly health or, again, aesthetics. Now, if you compare Alex Eubank to a lot of the bodybuilders, you'll see that he's very small, but due to the fact that he has good insertions, muscle bellies, and good proportions, he looks quite big.
Bro, when I train with them, it's like, I honestly want to train harder just because like they give me hope for how big I could get if I actually follow through with the bulk for once in my life.
Are you sure about that?
This just shows how photo manipulation, lighting, dehydration, leanness can all affect how you look. In comparison to the bare mode physique, being leaner, you look like you have more muscle mass, but when you're actually bulked up or in the off season, you actually have more muscle than you are when you're leaner. You probably feel better as well. This is just due to the fact that having a lower body fat percentage will make your muscles show. That's why it's also said that abs are made in the kitchen, but also built in the gym.
The really lean physique and the really fat physique, I don't recommend to anyone because neither of those extremes are healthy or sustainable. But as long as you're putting your health first and you feel good physically and mentally, then from there, it's really all just personal preference in terms of how you want to look.
You need to build your abs before you can show your abs, because then you're just going to have some skinny flat abs and you're going to be like, oh my god, I have this before I could get in 6-minute abs, what others, oh my god, I'm gonna... Take Brad Pitt from Fight Club. Everyone thought he had the best physique ever. Everyone wanted to be like him, but compared to the bodybuilding world, he's as skinny as a twig, mate. Honestly, he is a beginner, but due to the fact that he has a low body fat percentage, was in good lighting, had a bit of a tan, maybe water depleted. Oh, again, in that movie, he was kind of a drug addict and out of his mind.
You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis. You're the all singing, all dancing crap of the world.
So, people that are out of their minds are usually the best looking. So take heed, my friends. Know that bodybuilding is an art form in itself. Nutrition, training, and the other factors of depletion, lighting, and all that jazz do equate you to having a good physique. But again, nothing can beat good training, eating clean, and sleeping well, and having an overall good mindset about it. Enjoy the journey, enjoy training. Don't do it just for aesthetics and vanity. Do it because you love it. That's what Ronnie Coleman did. That's what Arnold did.
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. So I'm coming day and night.
If you aspire to be like them aesthetics wise, why can't you aspire to be them mindset wise? I'm sorry for the rambling, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Heavyweight!